The Ocarina of Time remake keeps getting more and more exciting, and honestly, this is pretty fantastic. There are so many things that we know about this game that's honestly going to make for a really exciting playthrough. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but yesterday there was this whole thing that was going around. It was this image right here that essentially was a Google underneath the tab. You can see Ocarina of Time remake features stunning visual, updated design, and timeless gameplay. Now, what exactly does this all mean? Is this going to be a same game situation? No, but let's get straight into it. Okay, so now when I really look at this, what does it all mean? Well, stunning visuals, as you can tell, the game actually looks really good. Updated design is obviously the bed and everything associated with that. That is a completely different room that we're in. And also the timeless gameplay. Now, the timeless gameplay part was a part that everyone was sort of confused on. Is this going to be a brand new game or sort of just a Nintendo remake that they call it? Honestly believe that yes, it is going to be a brand new game. This is something that you can easily make the argument. But then, following a little couple hours later, they removed that and turned it into this. The N64 Classic returns for a new generation in 2026, Reborn exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. Usually when you put Reborn in the context, that means it is like sort of like the same game, but not at all. It's something different when you really look at it. Plus, if we look at all of these things, these recent rumors, and also what I think is going to happen, you can see that Link has the Triforce of Courage at the very beginning of the game. The original game, that is not like that at all. You usually have to go and get the Master Sword, pull it out of the stone, and then it sort of separates the Triforce, which honestly is not the case in this game. So I definitely see this to be sort of like in the situation with A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. A Link to the Past is the original that came out on the Super Nintendo. A Link Between Worlds is the 3DS version that's essentially a remake, which it is a remake, and also a sequel of that game. Now, if this makes any sense whatsoever, I definitely think that Ocarina of Time Remake could potentially be a sequel in some ways. Now, I get into this whole theory, but first, this is what could be happening inside this game. This game is not going to be the exact same. You're not just going to be seeing a fresh coat of paint, updated designs, and that's it. No, but instead, you are going to be seeing some different things inside this game. Potentially the range could be a little bit different. Potentially the village could be a little bit different. Side quests are most likely going to be different, and they might just give you a ping on where to go. One of the big criticisms of Ocarina of Time was if you just, mash the button, well, you didn't really know where you're going. Most likely what's going to be happening is your UI is going to be updated and you're going to be able to go essentially where you want to go, and there you go. Makes a lot of sense. Also, if you look at it, voice acting might actually be a part of this game with actual cutscenes. Honestly, that would be pretty fantastic, and we've already seen this inside the trailer that, hey, look, voice acting definitely seems to be a part of this. Now, more on the Triforce situation. So potentially, we could also see the Temple of Light. If you don't know what the Temple of Light is, before you get essentially the Master Sword of the Triforce, maybe you go right there to the Temple of Light. Hey, you got the Triforce of Courage or something. So let's see if you know how to use it. And then you make your way all the way up this entire temple that was originally cut from the original Ocarina of Time. So I'm not just making this up. The Temple of Light, or the Light Temple, is actually a thing that was going to be inside the game. So potentially, this is exactly what happens. You have the Triforce of Courage, but you have to earn your courage or your statement before getting the Master Sword. That could very much be what happens. Now, how exactly does Link get the Triforce of Courage before going over to get the Triforce of Courage if it's the exact same game? Well, if you know anything about how timelines work, you know that if you travel back in time, the timeline is never fully put together. So if you really look at it in this way, in the way that I'm about to explain, it definitely would make sense why Link has the Triforce of Courage. So let's just say after his big battle of Ganondorf, Link, of course, as you know, if you played Ocarina of Time, he goes back in time, so instead of being an adult, he goes back to his childhood to relive it. But once you go back in time, it's kind of like if you take a cup or something. and you take that cup and it's broken cup. You try to put the pieces together, but the pieces will never ever be the exact same. So once Link goes back in time, he is going to still have the Triforce of Courage, and then you're going to notice that this Ocarina of Time isn't the exact same. That's exactly how I believe Nintendo could explain this, because to me, this makes the most sense. Nintendo could easily explain something like this, that hey, Link went back in time and this is how the opening cutscene is gonna go. So you're gonna start off the game, open it up, and all of a sudden you see everything that hey, this is the final battle, and then you go back in time. You see an extra cutscene of you going back in time, but then you wake up on the bed, oh, I still have the Triforce of Courage, and then that's how you can get new and returning players to play the exact same game in a new way. This would be the perfect idea for Ocarina of Time. Then, when you get out of the village, there you go. Some things are going to be different. This could be the Deku Tree, which obviously looks much different than the one from the DS or the 3DS. This could be Sora, or this could be the Master Sword and where you get it and how you get it. This could be a bunch of different things, but still using the bones of Ocarina of Time. This is exactly, most likely, what Nintendo is going to be doing. When you see Reborn, you don't say, hey, this is going to be the same game, new light, like Nintendo's so-called remakes, like the 3DS version. No, no, no. They said that this is going to be reborn, so it's going to be different, and it's going to be fantastic. And if you don't like Ocarina of Time being changed, well then just pick up a DS, pick up an N64, or heck, even play one of those fan-made Ocarina of Time games. This is for people who want more from Ocarina of Time, if you know what I mean. The story, to the gameplay, to everything associated to that, it would honestly make for something truly special. So overall, this is exactly what it seems like you are going to be getting from Ocarina of Time. It's going to be a different experience, and honestly, this is really fantastic. I can't wait to jump back into The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time again in 2026. Honestly, it's going to be a dream come true to finally see what the Light Temple was going to be, to finally see something different from time-traveling Link over here. Like I said, the timeline, it was never fully, a finished timeline. It was kind of something that fell in between. You got the straight timeline, and then you got an alternate timeline, and this is exactly what this game is, because if you know Nintendo, they like to put their games in timelines. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Consider it that like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. We do a bunch of different Nintendo content on this channel. Mario, Pokemon, Zelda, pretty much everything. Let's get sure. Anyways, thank you so much. See you in the next one.